Decentralized vs. centralized pros and cons. We will explore the concepts of decentralization and centralization related to the current industry and blockchain. What is centralization? And how does it work? Centralization revolves around us more than you can expect. If you are using social media platforms such as Facebook, then you are using a centralized system. Other popular online platforms such as YouTube are also centralized. So, what does it mean? It means that a central authority is in control of the data and functions of the said platform. So, if you are using the Facebook platform, then the company Facebook has complete control over the different aspects of their features, including the ability to decide who and who cannot join the platform. If you want a technical perspective, then the centralized system requires third-party intermediaries to verify data. This means if you are sending a message to your friend using the Facebook platform, then the data will be verified and then transferred by the said platform. Another great example would be sending an email. The moment you send an email to another person, the email service provider has the knowledge of what you sent and when you sent it. This information is stored privately without any identifier, but the email service, in any case, has a copy of that information. In short, the centralized services have your information stored with your consent. If you remember the first time you create an account on any centralized platform such as Facebook, Yahoo, Gmail, etc., then you had to give them your full name, nationality, date of birth, and any other information to register on the platform. The fact that everything is stored in a centralized place, it is bound to get hacked or misused for other purposes. Yahoo, in 2015, noticed one of the biggest hacks where the group of hackers was able to view private emails of millions of accounts. Centralization can also refer to an organization structure where the decision-making capacity is only with few people. This means that we will also cover the decentralized vs. centralized organization. What's the current state of centralization? Centralization is undoubtedly an effective way to manage organizations or networks. It has been effectively used by big organizations such as Microsoft, Facebook, Yahoo, and so on. In fact, our governments are also reliant on a centralized approach. In the case of a centralized government, the political executives coordinate the power. You can also exert the power in multiple cases. For a big corporation, centralization ensures that its data remains safe. This is needed so that their trade secrets do not get leaked. However, there is a modified way of handling the data with the option to use decentralized networks such as blockchain. We can easily say that centralization is still very prevalent in the current market. And not all businesses don't need to adopt decentralization just for the sake of it. Different business models thrive in a centralized network, and it will take a while before more and more business move towards decentralized models. What is decentralization? And how does it work? Now that we have a complete understanding of centralization, it would be easy for us to understand and learn about decentralization. The idea of decentralization is new. It came to light with the release of Bitcoin in 2009. It also introduced one new cool concept that makes decentralization possible, i.e., blockchain technology. Here, if one user sends Bitcoin to another user, it doesn't have to go through a centralized authority. However, this doesn't mean that the transaction is not verified. The transactions are verified with the use of consensus algorithms. The network used by Bitcoin is connectable by anyone. That means it is open. It also exhibited other key features such as transparency, where anyone can verify the transactions if needed. In such a network, a person or machine that connects to the network is termed as a node. In the end, there will be a network with thousands of nodes that are capable of sending and receiving funds from each other. Let's take a real-world example to understand the concept. A decentralized energy network is where people can connect and buy energy from other independent entries. This way, they do not have to pay the intermediaries for accessing energy in the first place. The distributed energy network relies on blockchain technology with no need for a centralized authority. The nodes that are generating the energy can share it with the network and get paid for it. Advantages of decentralization. There are multiple advantages of decentralization. 1. Full control. One of the most significant advantages of decentralization is that the users are in full control of their transactions. This means that they can start a transaction when they want without the need to authorize it from a centralized authority. In simple terms, that the verification process is not dependent on third parties, and a decentralized network utilizes consensus methods to verify the information. 2. Data cannot be altered or deleted. Blockchain technology's data structure is append-only. This means that there is no chance for anyone to modify or alter the data once it is stored. There is another blockchain technology that utilizes different data models such as Corda, but they also follow the immutability property. 3. Secure. Decentralized networks are secure because of how they handle data and transactions. They use cryptography to ensure that the data ledgers are secure. Also, the data in the current block require data from the adjacent block so that it can use cryptography to validate the data. 4. Censorship. Decentralization also means less censorship. In a centralized system, there are more chances that information can be censored. However, the decentralized network is less prone to censorship, as there is no central authority that controls the data. Let's take an example to understand the scenario. Twitter, for example, is known to censor accounts as it finds some offensive posts, or does it when the government tries to censor accounts if it goes against their agenda. In the case of decentralization, peers can interact directly, and hence there is no or less censorship. 5. Open development. Decentralized networks mostly support open development. This is because of its nature and how it operates. By having an open development environment, the network gets amazing services, tools, and products built on top of it. Linux, for example, is open source and has an ecosystem that enables anyone to improve on it. The same is true for decentralized networks. In comparison, a centralized network or closed solutions do not get the chance to have open development. This limits development to a great extent. Disadvantages of decentralization. There are of course many disadvantages of decentralization. Some of the disadvantages include the following. Conflict. Decentralization can lead to conflict if it is not well maintained in an organizational structure. Cost. In an organizational setting, decentralization can cost more than centralization, as it requires setting up of systems that can make communication more automatic. Crime. When it comes to decentralized blockchain, then the crime can be one big disadvantage, as everything is done on the network is anonymous and can lead to misuse. Volatility. Decentralized cryptocurrency shows volatile behavior where the prices fluctuate a lot. What is the current state of decentralization? Decentralization is here to stay. You'll see that many of the major companies, organizations, and even governments are adopting it as it offers more efficiency to the network in the long run. Dubai is one of the first waves of governments that are currently adopting blockchain to its whole governance structure. It is now termed as the Blockchain Development World Capital, as decentralization or blockchain technology is influencing it. Dubai has been able to integrate blockchain into 8 industry sectors, including real estate, tourism, security, transportation, finance, health and education. The end result is to become the world's first blockchain city. IBM is also at the forefront of embracing blockchain technology and using it to improve the food supply chain. They created IBM Food Trust, which is all about bringing efficiency and transparency to food supply chains. They are working in conjunction with Walmart and benefit all the participants in the network with actionable and traceable information. There are also various decentralized ledger projects out there, including the likes of Hyperledger, Corda, and others.